There's through like 10 slides together. I'll give you a little bit about me. This is for Arizona ABA. So I titled it, Don't Just Sit There, because that's what I'm interested in. So you can just do something you love and expand ABA, and this is just really kind of my journey of what BehaviorFit is. And so I have a team behind me, so I'm not just one person. So my wife Gina, she's a behavior analyst, and my advisory board, Manny Rodriguez, Dr. Paul Gravoni, Tim Courtney. So they give me a lot of support and guidance. This has been quite the, it'll be 3 years coming up and just in like next month. So it's been a fun little side project since I've been in school. So, and of course, my other sidekicks, my one first son, Pete, and then my son, Ogden, who is almost 6 months old. So that's my team. This is Team BehaviorFit. He's cute. You can say, ooh, ah.
He's very cute. And I like the dog.
So my story, just to give a little background, I'm originally from Indiana. I graduated from Purdue in 2006. I worked, and I got a degree in psychology, nothing in ABA. I worked in a mental health center, which I was just kind of just doing some casework for a while, nothing really significant. Found out I wasn't really making any meaningful change, so I moved on. I had a bit of a tangent. I worked in a photography studio. So this is me, my younger days, my baby face. So I did that for a while. That was a lot of fun. Got some sales experience. I eventually worked in the Globo gym world. Worked in gym life, worked in membership sales. That was a lot of fun. Learned a lot of things about sales and marketing, just general business, which was very informative. But eventually, I got into behavior analysis by getting a job as a therapist at the Behavior Analysis Center for Autism in Fishers, Indiana. I worked there for 5 years, kind of working up a little bit, working with severe problem behavior. It was a lot of fun, a lot of really good work. But I learned about this whole field called behavior analysis in the process, this whole science, and that led me to FIT in Melbourne, Florida, where I got my master's degree in OBM. And that's where I began my interest in researching sedentary behavior and sitting. And then that eventually led me to an opportunity to study even further in a PhD program here at the University of Florida, where I'm finishing up my final year in the behavior analysis PhD program here. So that is the general story. And I found out through the process that I just kind of wear many hats. So it's a combination of being a behavior analyst first and foremost, but in the process of working in health, I'm a educator, practitioner, researcher, scientist, all these things, businessman, salesman, entrepreneur, all these things are necessary to go ahead and carve out your new area. So for me, it all started when I learned about this phrase called sitting is the new smoking. I imagine the three of you have heard this phrase because I'm here today. You have a little background on it. But the idea here is really that independent of exercise, so even if you work out, if you sit a lot, it's going to be as detrimental to long-term health outcomes as smoking. Actually, the data say it's mathematically even worse, but that's where that comes from. So this is just a brief PSA of just the general recommendations here. You need to sit less and move more. As long as you move every 30 to 60 minutes, you should be okay. If you start sitting or you're standing for too long, for more than an hour, that's where the metabolic issues kind of kick in. So just keep moving and you'll be all right. And research, my master's thesis was published in AzABA, which is very nice. And then I've had different iterations since I've been here at UF, where I've submitted a couple of things, looking at evaluating feedback and task clarification, and looking at shaping with this line of research. So it's been a lot of fun. Learned many new things. But eventually in practice, when I started here at the University of Florida, I had this blog, came up with his name. Now it's turned into this really neat opportunity to work with individuals and give workshops, talk to you guys in Arizona. So it's really, really neat. So I kind of came up with my vision here is to create a movement about movement so that people can live healthier and happier lives. That's what it's all about. So here's just an example of somebody I've worked with over the past winter and spring. Her name's Bella. On baseline, she took 3,500 steps. Only worked out her intensity minutes on the secondary y-axis. She worked out. She only got her heart rate up for 74 minutes on average during baseline. But then over a series of 4 to 5 months, we worked on a lot of different things, and this is kind of the snapshot, the final view. And she nearly doubled her activity, both in exercise and general, steps in activity too, which was pretty awesome to see. So you can take healthy behavior, measure it, and you can impact it. And Bella did a nice job. Another person that I worked with, she wanted to decrease her soft drink consumption. So she was drinking in November 32 sugary sodas, and you can see, the data decreased very nicely. And the point with this is that there's a lot of sugar in soda, so just to kind of visualize it differently, as you can see that just in the month, just in soda consumption alone, she consumed over half of a 4-pound, 65% of a 4-pound bag of sugar, and slowly titrated it down. So it's very, very nice to see that she's putting that less of a burden on her body. So there's just a couple examples of, how I've kind of, what really the end result of, 6 to 8 months of work is when working with individuals on their health behaviors. So for me, this whole journey that I've kind of been on, my blog has been the longest thing running since I was the first, developing the website, getting people interested, contacting, new clients. That's been very useful. Been delivering a lot of workshops. I go to conferences, present research. Might see me on social media, and now I've kind of, shifted a little bit. I've been mentoring some people along the way because they're interested in doing more outside of, the autism world. So that's just kind of my kind of line of services that I've products that I've developed over the past 3 years. And this is all on my page, but I've had the opportunity to be on a couple of podcasts. You might recognize some of the logos there. I've done writing not only for my own website, but for other outlets too. And I've presented in the community to different organizations talking about the importance of movement and sitting and behavioral principles and all these things. So that's just a little bit of what I've done, and it's just a snapshot of my homepage. You can get a lot of the information there. You can ask questions. If you attend this Zoom via recording, you can peruse my page, check it all out. You can see my little video there. It's a cartoon version of me. Kind of looks like me. And that's really it. That's all I kind of had. And going up to Indiana in the next month. And I have a dissertation I'm working on, and there's all my contact information. So that is it in a nutshell. That's just a little bit about me. And I can stop sharing my screen now. And where's my mouse? And we can take it from there.